Income tax demand is such a word, when you get it, you get a mini heart attack. But in this video, I'm going to tell you how you can handle income tax demand if you receive any from income tax department. So let's begin. So hello friend, my name is CA Arun Tiwari, and in this video I'm going to tell you how to handle an income tax demand if you receive any from income tax department. First thing, I will pray to God that you don't receive any such nonsense thing, but you cannot be sure. So of course, if you are an income taxpayer, maybe today or tomorrow you can face such a situation where one day you wake up, you check your income tax portal and you see there is some demand pending. You open up and you find there is a bomb, 5 lakh rupees pay. And if something comes like that, then don't be nervous. Just what I'm explaining you in this video, follow that and everything will be sorted out like a smooth butter. So let's begin with first thing. Before I tell you about that how to handle income tax demand, first thing, let's understand what is the income tax demand. So and what the difference is there between the income tax notice and income tax demand. So income tax demand is a concluded income tax proceeding. That means it starts with income tax notice. So when you receive an income tax notice, it's kind of a summon where they will ask you to give documents, information, and if you have not filed return, file the return. And after that, whatever document or information you provide, they complete this whole investigation, and after the investigation they will file a charge sheet, and this charge sheet is called income tax demand. So in that demand, generally two things can happen. Either you are nice and clean, so nothing will come, there will be just assessment order, and in assessment order there will not be any demand. But suppose they find out that you have some hidden income or you have not declared something, then with income tax you can say assessment order, there will be another document coming to you which is a demand, in which they will simply ask you to pay this much amount along with interest and penalty. So this is the difference between income tax notice and income tax demand. Once you got income tax demand, that means there is no chance of replying and getting it rectified, nothing. It's basically a charge sheet submitted to court. So once a police department basically does the investigation and submit the charge sheet, that means it is now matter become a sub judice. That means it goes to court. Now income tax department cannot do anything. You have only two options after you receive the income tax demand: either pay the taxes or go for appeal. Now let me tell you how to handle the income tax demand and how to get out without paying unnecessary taxes, unnecessary penalty. Because many cases we have seen, in many cases, especially in case of middle class taxpayer like you and me, there is a high pitch demand. And now what is a high pitch demand, I will explain you later. But before that, let me tell you that how to check if there is any notice or demand is pending in your income tax portal. So if you want to check yourself, then I have made a small video which you can simply watch here. I think here. So in this link you can go and you can check how you can check how you can go to income tax portal, log in there, and then you can check whether there is a penalty, the demand or income tax notice is pending. If income tax notice is pending, then take immediate action, approach some good chartered accountant. You can approach us also, and then discuss with them and reply with all information. This will avoid doing ex parte assessment. Now what is this thing? So ex parte assessment is like that: if they have issued the notice and you are not providing any document, you are not replying, you are just forget about that, okay, then in that case the income tax department can do your assessment as they wish, and they can issue the demand as per their, you can say, whatever information is available. And in that case it will definitely be very high pitch demand. That means even you don't have to pay one thing, 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees of tax, they can give you a 10 lakh rupees of demand. So just avoid that situation, because once you get into demand mode, then of course you have to go to appeal. There is no option. So first part, if you got a notice which is pending and staring at you, then find somebody and handle that notice properly, provide all the information, and that way you will, first case, you will do the prevention, because prevention is better than cure, to get into the unnecessary demand phase. Okay, so if you are nice and clean, you just handle the notice properly and the notice will conclude without any demand. let's say that thing doesn't happen, you have not checked it, or your CA has not checked it, or your tax consultant has not checked it, and there is a demand pending and staring at you, then what you have to do about that? But so let me just tell you one word which I have used earlier: high pitch demand. So what is high pitch demand? It's very important to understand this before I tell you the how to handle demand. So high pitch demand is basically, it is done by income tax department to collect more taxes. So it can happen that actually I don't have to pay anything, but because I have not handled my notice, and they have done ex parte assessment, and themselves they decided that I have to pay 5 lakh rupees, and they have put a 5 lakh rupees demand in my income tax portal. So this happens a lot. Okay, so before I explain you why this happened, let's understand why income tax department do high pitch demand. So now you understand one thing: the income tax is basically a collection department for government of India, same like a bank. Okay, so you can say in other word, it's a vasuli department. They have to collect money from us, which goes to government of India, which they use for different purposes. So they have assigned a target, collection target. Every income tax officer has some collection target, and like when the March appears, they have to meet that target. Basically on the basis of collection, their promotions and everything is decided. So this is their performance criteria. Now what happened that it's very easier to put on a middle class taxpayer unnecessary tax than to put a tax demand on Reliance Industry or Ambani's or Adani's. Okay, so understand one thing: in India, only middle class people pay taxes. Not very poor people pay taxes. Okay, and not very rich. Poor basically pay vote, and the richer generally pay note. I think you appreciate this statement. And middle class basically pays taxes. So what happened in case of middle class? Why they do this high pitch assessment? First thing, the middle class will not come to know that there is a high pitch assessment, because most of the cases the middle class will not go to appeal. They will simply accept and pay up. So it's very easy to send notices to say 1 lakh middle class taxpayer, then send a big amount notice to a big, you can say, corporate, which will employ a battery of you can say lawyers, and they will fight for 2 years, and finally they will not pay anything. So it's very easy to distribute say 2 lakh 3 lakh rupees of extra tax on another 1 lakh or 2 lakh middle class taxpayer, which eventually will pay up. So because we don't go to appeal, they make this high pitch assessment. So basically 2 reasons: first, to meet their targets, which is very easy to meet from middle class taxpayers, and second, because we will not go to appeal, so they will be safe. Now, how to know whether the demand sent to you is high pitch or not? That means they are asking more money than you actually should pay, or whether you should pay or not. In most of cases, we have seen the demand is not proper. They have done in one case, let me see, there was a 10 lakh rupees demand, and basically when we investigated the case, the stand of department was completely wrong. They are treating the money withdrawn, cash money which I withdrawn from my bank account, as an unexplained source of income, and on that they are putting 30% tax plus penalty, and they come a figure to 10 lakh rupees, which while that person doesn't have to pay even a single rupees. So the high pitch demand, we have to review, you have to get it reviewed, and we provide such service where we review the demand. So it's a demand review service in which you have to send us the demand, whatever demand you receive, and we will ask for some documents, and we'll do the computation, and we'll tell you whether it's a high pitch demand or not. And if it's a high pitch, then how much extra tax they are asking, whether first thing, you have to pay any taxes or not, and second, if even you have to pay taxes, then what should be the reasonable, you can say the right calculation, right tax amount which you have to pay as a demand, and then you can take it matter further to appeal. We charge a nominal 2,500 plus GST fees for that, but that will save you a lot of money as a you can say you can go to appeal, and you can save your unnecessary taxes which income tax department is asking you to pay through this high pitch demand. So finally, we are at a question that how to handle the demand, especially the high pitch demand. If there is a demand which is proper, like I have to pay some taxes and you forget to pay the taxes, and now department is asking, it's better to pay than getting into litigation, because if they are right, they will not allow me to go away without paying taxes. But if I find out that this is unnecessary, they are putting me in this trouble just to meet their collection targets, so that case I have to go to appeal, directly have to go to appeal. Now here some people will ask, if you ask some other chartered accountant or some other people, they will say, okay, you have option to go to income tax commissioner also, and you can file a rectification. So let me tell you, 99% rectification is basically rejected by commissioner. Why it is done? Now again, understand the first same thing. Like, income tax commissioner is a senior of income tax officers, and whatever collection target is given to income tax officer, indirectly it is a collection target of income tax commissioner. So until unless there is a very genuine case of misunderstanding, very apparent case, like on the face you can say that I have not made any income, first thing, I am a 18 years old person and I don't have any income, and they are sending me a notice of or demand of 18 lakh rupees, it's a apparent mistake. Only in that case where he feel that they can be caught and they can be embarrassed, they will do some kind of rectification. Anywhere where the chances that the case can be go anyway, either in my favor or income tax favor, they will not do the rectification. They will simply say rejected, you are not allowed, pay taxes. So it's waste of time. And understand that for appeal also, you have to file within 30 days of receiving demand, you have to file for appeal. In case of delay, you have to explain why the delays happened, and if the court feels that your reason is you can say nice and fair, then they will allow you to file even delay you can say appeal. But if you get into this unnecessary nonsense, your timeline will get over, and once the court will also feel that if you're going to income tax commissioner for rectification, then why you are coming to me? I'm like, nobody, are you not taking me seriously? So maybe there is chances that they will not allow you to file late appeal. So the best option is appeal. And why? Let me tell you this. Almost 70 to 75% of appeal goes in favor of SSC, and this fact very few people knows. Now let me again tell you, this appeal is not like a normal court, like where you have to go and they will give you tariq after tariq. It's basically a very specialized court which is only for income tax purpose, and there is a commissioner appeal. Now don't confuse with commissioner and commissioner appeal. Commissioner is separate and commissioner appeal is completely independent body. He's a part of judiciary, he's a part of court system, first you can say point of appeal. So he's not forced, he doesn't have a collection target, and if you are right at first place of contact, you will get the justice. Up to 75% cases we have get the experience that if this is a high pitch assessment, they generally cancel it right away. They will generally cancel it right away, and you will get the relief of paying unnecessary taxes. So that's why the very important part is that once you get to know that there is a demand, don't act like an ostrich. Generally what people do, once they see there is a demand, they say, oh, there will be some miscalculation, let's forget about it, let's put our head into sand and this storm will pass away. But basically it doesn't happen. Once you get the demand, that means there is a liability fixed on you, and income tax department will recover the money some or other way. So how they can recover your money? First way, they can adjust your refund. So suppose in this year you're supposed to receive some refund, they will adjust against the demand. And this is again another fraud I have seen. I will not say the fraud, the department will not spare me, but this is basically I have seen in some cases where the demand is coming in present year. I don't know, somehow they issue a refund which is issued in which is due in this year. Suppose somebody has to receive 1 lakh rupees refund. What they do generally, they will go 5 year 10 year down the line, and out of somewhere they will create a demand of maybe 70 80,000 90,000 rupees, and they will adjust and pay you 10,000 rupees and will say you thank you for your service. So this also happens. But again, if you got a demand, they can rightly adjust your refund of future and present. First thing, some people say I don't bother about that. The second thing can happen, if your demand is high, they can attach your bank statement and they can withdraw money from there also. Yes, they have power to do that also. Some people will say even I don't bother because I don't have any balance in my bank statement, okay, bank account. So what third thing they can do, they can simply attach your property. Of course they will not sell the property right away, but they will simply threaten you. They can threaten you that pay me my taxes by now, and otherwise I'm going to sell your property, and whatever prices. Suppose my demand is for 10 lakh rupees, your property 1 crore, I don't bother, I will sell you for sell this property for 10 lakh rupees. Anybody will buy immediately, I will get my taxes, I am happy, you forget about your property. This thing can happen, because you understand the income tax department is a vasuli department for government of India. So they have more faith towards government of India and need of government of India than a taxpayer, a middle class taxpayer like you and me. So this video is basically I made to make you aware that appeal is quite accessible. It's not like you can say the criminal court or civil court where you have to go and stand and you have to wait for your turn. No, it's completely online. It's faceless assessment and appeal now. That means if you hire a qualified chartered accountant, they can do it from their office, and you don't have to even move from your home. You just have to provide information to the chartered accountant like our firm, and our team will work out everything and communicate with you and file a proper appeal within a due date. And as I told you, it's not a guarantee, because it's if you have to pay some taxes, you have to pay taxes. Nobody can get you out from there. But if there is a high pitch assessment, wrong demand is issued on that, I'm saying that almost 90%, 95% cases, they will you will get relieved from that unnecessary tax payment. And actually all middle class should go for appeal. Why I'm making such statement? Because if they start going for appeal, then this income tax department will do their assessment very carefully, and they will have a very, you can say, carefully they will put every supporting. Because but the problem is, most of time they know that these people will not act, and this is a very, you can say, easy way to get money and get their assessment and all things, get their targets and get their promotion just on the cost of this middle class people who are already struggling with their daily life due to paying unnecessary and high taxes. On top of that, they issue this kind of demand also.